Since 1966, the very competent scientific analysts of the British publication The Flying Saucer Review have been assembling all available information about alien intelligences who have made repeated UFO landings in the high Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. So have the defense authorities of both nations. The Ummo intelligences claim they come from what we know as Star System Wolf 424, some 14.6 light years from Earth, 90 trillion miles. Near their home planet, their UFO space travel device enters a black hole in space. A giant energy whirlpool vortex which hurls their spacecraft into another dimension in which time hardly exists. From this, they emerge into our dimension, into our solar system, and proceed to their expeditionary target, Earth. Later, the Ummos were to tell the European investigators that the universe was at least a 10-dimension unity. Perhaps even more, they were not certain. But they knew of and used at least 10 dimensions of reality. Each reality was separate from each of the others. Each of the 10 realities had its own rules of energy manipulation. Even though there were 10 dimensions which were open to space travel, reckless energy misuse in one dimension can disturb the cosmic unity of another dimension and its inhabitants. Telepathy is used to receive knowledge during space travel. The mind, said the Ummos in the quiet areas of space, is especially open to pure cosmic knowledge received by telepathy. Any mentality can receive and benefit from knowledge received by telepathy. The more telepathic ability is exercised, the more valuable it becomes, the Ummos learned, as they learned many of the high scientific secrets of the solar systems they traveled through in their space exploration projects. Target Earth was to be another of their cosmic projects. The Ummos first learned of the planet Earth, with inhabitants of some intelligence, in the Earth year 1950. They landed and left 8 of their males and females in the area which had high mountains between France and Spain. Since that time, they have studied the new planet and the method of mental understanding used by its inhabitants. They found Earth science could not account for cosmic beings like themselves. They have carefully made themselves known to certain people of France and Spain, about 30 in all. They have tried to understand the limitations which exist in the mind of man. They find human knowledge inadequate and much inferior to the cosmic understanding, which permits space voyages between the Ummo position in the universe and the Earth. At 800,000 miles, Jupiter looks to the Earth-developed eye like this. To the Ummo, perhaps different. Jupiter's moon, Ganymede, is some 8,000 miles away and moves in its orbit. Its diameter, 3,000 miles. The Ummo intelligences took a heat measurement of the Jupiter hotspot. They compared the measurements to that of the surface of their sun and found it about the same. The other Jupiter moons were identified: Europa, Amalthea, Callisto, as they were named by Earth astronomers. The spacecraft continued to the next solar system checkpoint, also at the same time slowing its rate of travel. Saturn was identified with its strange moon, Titan. Titan rolled along the equatorial plane of Saturn like a wheel on a road. The Ummos identified its atmosphere, methane. In the vicinity of Saturn, they tuned to the history and the totality of knowledge of the solar system, accumulated since the time the sun was born. Knowledge lost, and knowledge still used, and knowledge to be rediscovered. It was from this Saturn knowledge store that the Ummo intelligences learned of humankind's achievements and failures. They learned, too, of the state of development of the plant and animal life and all details of Earth and the other planets. They continued their journey past Saturn, its bright rings shining a dark space blue in the Titan sky. The cosmic voyage continued to Mars. A close look at Mars revealed snow at the base of its mountains of Mitchell. On Mars, with its thin atmosphere and low water vapor content, the snow behaves differently than on mountain peaks on Earth. Leaving Mars, they passed scarcely 100 miles from Phobos, one of its two moons. 4,000 miles above the red storm-swept planet, Phobos is a dark clump, only 16 miles in length. The final checkpoint of the cosmic voyage brought a strange and beautiful sight. Their project destination, Earth, was eclipsing its own sun, and they passed over the Earth's moon just beneath. They had come nearly 90 trillion miles, 14.6 light years. Elapsed Earth time, just about 7 months. Came now the moment to synchronize the Ummo UFO's space travel time with the time of the expedition's target, Earth. By telepathic means, the Ummo alien intelligences claim to have notified some 20 selected Earth people of various responsible backgrounds to expect the Ummo UFO. These people lived in Spain. The British Flying Saucer Review headlined an attempt by the Spanish Air Force to intercept the Ummo UFO. An Andorra radio station employee also noticed the UFO as it neared its destination in the Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. The Ummo spacecraft, after its cosmic voyage, became visible over the Pyrenees Mountains, and the IH superimposed marking, unlike any alphabetical symbol on Earth, was photographed. The first pictures taken were from the ground near the outskirts of Madrid on February 6, 1966, and again on the 10th of June, 1967. They are known as the San Jose de Valderas photographs, which were published nationally in Spain after thorough investigation by the national magazine Horizonte. During the years since 1966, much of the Ummo information has been investigated by competent people of England, France, and Spain. And to this date, such evidence as these UFO photographs appears to be factual. Dr. Claude Poer, director of scientific programs in the French Center for Spatial Studies, stated publicly that a 2-year investigation resulted in staggering confirmation of statements made by the non-earthly intelligences. The French Minister of Defense, Jean-Claude Boré, in a nationwide radio broadcast, confirmed that the national police in France had a great number of statements on file from reliable witnesses who had reported over the last few years UFO appearances. He said he believed the reports tell of scientifically interesting events and that the top scientists of France were making a continuing study of reported UFO sightings. From those files comes this photograph of a UFO taken at night as it was tracked across France. This is known as the Valençol UFO. The device is emitting brilliantly colored radiation and seems solid. If so, it is obviously capable of defying gravity. The French defense minister says that this type of appearance is being studied seriously by French science. Not so in the United States, where even the anti-gravity capability of the UFO is being ignored by official science.